from me. You changed like you locked me out of your space. I see you every day, every full moon. Wait for you every day, ever so soon. Want you to look at me for real. It's getting harder to remember. Or have we always been so bittersweet? I'm only trying to break the pattern when I'm reaching out to you. I'm hanging up. I never wanna stop staring at the summer night sky that we belong in. I'm hanging up. I never wanna stop staring at the summer night sky that we belong in.
All right. We are going to get jumping right back in. I hope everybody had a great lunch. Everybody's full and ready and comfy for this next panel here. The first of our afternoon sessions is going to feature one of our favorite partners, VideoWise. Woo! And we're going to be represented by Stella Braya and Stephanie Friedlander. Jen Wang, our VP of Enterprise Strategy, is going to be joining them as well. And they're going to be talking about the value of video reviews on websites.
Hello. Great. Hello, everyone. I am Jen from Cohley, and I am the VP of Enterprise Strategy. Been at Cohley for almost 8 years now, and I legitimately think that photo is from 8 years ago, so it needs a little update. I've acquired a couple more wrinkles since. But yeah, so I oversee the managed services team. We run white glove services for our clients, both in strategy and execution on the Cohley platform. Very excited to be with you guys today, and with our partner VideoWise and Stephanie from AS Beauty.
It's like my turn now.
Your turn.
I mean, your picture, you still have the hair at least. Like, I completely forgot that I cut all the hair, so this is me. Hi. Great to see you all. I'm super excited about this. I flew in all the way from Slovenia, where the First Lady is from, if you know about that, to join Cohley. We love them as a partner, and it's kind of a logical partnership since we work on the end of implementing video content on the brand websites. And I kind of love what Brooke was mentioning on the panel before from Voyager Group, because she said, like, people don't forget about your websites. And this is exactly where VideoWise comes in. We implement video content in all different interactive shapes and forms, from quizzes, shoppables, even ambient videos, anything from videos in product galleries, carousels, reviews and testimonials are basically our heartbeat. So I'm super excited to share a few tips and tricks with you today. And on my left is one of my favorite clients, the amazing Stephanie, who reminds me of Jennifer Lawrence, which is why I love her the most. Right? She's from AS Beauty, and I will let her introduce herself. And then Jen is going to take us through the magical journey of implementing videos.
Hi, I'm Stephanie. I love that compliment. I have gone Jennifer Lawrence before, so thank you. I am the Director of Site Merchandising at AS Beauty. We are a portfolio company really focused in skincare and beauty, with our largest brand being Laura Geller, which is a destination for mature women. And I oversee the day-to-day operations of our website, really focusing on advancing the customer experience, working with vendors like VideoWise to help bring our shopping experience to life, make our customers feel confident in their purchase, and convert and become lifetime shoppers with us.
All right, let's get started then. Let's start with the big picture. So video is everywhere. Can you guys talk about the shifting consumer behaviors and why video is so important to the shopping journey?
I mean, from the general perspective of it all, I think the radical shift, as mentioned before, was like COVID times and after COVID. I mean, I personally wasn't with VideoWise, but I started buying from websites that had videos incorporated, especially if it's like beauty, skincare, and fashion apparel, because all of a sudden, you're exploring something new because you have time for it, but instead of going to the boutique or the store, you're completely left to your own flavors. And TikTok is cool and Insta is cool, but what brands are often not realizing is that the social media content, after creators put so many efforts in, after Cohley gathered all of that, for instance, it kind of sleeps on social, unfortunately. And during COVID times, what became super crucial is to get that moment, that social proof, that authentic content to the website where it actually educates the audiences and then boosts conversions. And I think that the shift was radical in terms of seeing the sheerness of a fabric, if it's a fashion brand, to learn the new skincare routine, then immediately be able to buy the products that are being mentioned in that review or how-to video. So I think, yeah, the radical shift joined with the lack of attention span and people not wanting to read anymore, which is oh my God. That was a radical shift that brought us to where we are today. And I kind of still feel that it's a growing technology, that the entire implementation of video is still being a bit of a taboo, especially because people are still concerned with loading, performance overall, do they have enough video content? So I think we're kind of pioneering and stepping into something that is going to be a very, very promising future, but still, in my opinion, not being leveraged enough by brands at the current state.
Yeah, I like to say my favorite saying is people don't read anymore, and videos really just are authentic. They're real. When you look at any video, you kind of be like, that's me, that's not me, and kind of keep going through the content to find the person that you resonate with, that you trust. And there's so much content out there. A lot of it's static, it's flat, and videos just catch your eye. They're engaging, and I think that's partially also why walking down the street, how many videos did I pass? Like on billboards, they're just everywhere.
Yeah, you guys made a really good point, though, where I think it's so clear to everyone that you need video on social, right? But you can't forget you also need video wherever your consumers are shopping, and that includes on the website when they are trying to look for information, when they're trying to make their purchase decisions. Maybe they came from TikTok, maybe they came from Instagram or some other video source, and then they also want information when they're shopping and trying to make their decisions, right? And so I think this is a good segue. What we want to talk about next is what types of videos have you seen specifically for website work well? Because sometimes it can be what also works well in social, but not always, right? Because you kind of have to customize where the shopper is in their consumer journey when you're serving them the content. So what specific types of video formats or styles have you seen really work well?
Well, I would actually love to hear Stephanie on this because like I can talk for hours about it in terms of different industries, but I feel that AS Beauty, especially Laura Geller, has a wonderful implementation. Chase, can we go back 2 slides, maybe? There we go. So Stephanie, from your experience, how is video converting and what are the video types that perform well for AS Beauty?
Yeah, so we're very fortunate. Laura Geller is our founder. She's been a veteran makeup artist for over 30 years, and we really showcase her on our website. When you're going through your journey, you may be greeted on our homepage with a video of Laura or some of the celebrity partnerships that we have, and then you go to the PDPs, and there's Laura teaching you how to use our product. Or on the side, there's a carousel of UGC content, seeing our customers wearing the product. So to your point, you absolutely have to have videos throughout your entire journey. It's about using your content in the right place and not overwhelming them, but you can even use videos after the fact. So like creating how-to pages and putting them in order confirmations emails to get people excited about what's coming in the mail for them. There's just so much that you can do with the journey, and there's really no bad type of video. It's about knowing your customer and using it correctly.
And now to expand on this, we work with clients that come to us with professional in-house video teams, for instance, with gloriously designed, assets, which are showcasing the bottle, showcasing the serum, showcasing anything. And then also, most of our brands, we always consult in terms of use what you already have. And as I mentioned before, most of the brands are not even aware that the video can work for them. Like video can earn you money beyond just social media campaigns, for instance, beyond just Amazon. So for us, we don't discriminate against content, as I like to say, because if you have professionally designed assets, we can use them for hero banners, for ambient videos, for single players replacing YouTube. None of them is going to have impact on page speed, so you can really go wild and then continue that beautiful, elegant, chic journey with interactive components that are going to be, for instance, the humanizing factor from founders, which are welcoming the audience on the homepage, all the way through fabulous creators showcasing how-to and reviews on product pages, or even collection pages where the entire product discovery can be boosted further. So I like to say that you will always have content that can be used. It's just about how are we going to leverage it and how are we going to strategically implement it so we kind of coach it so it works for you like a team member.
Right, and I think if you don't know what works best on website yet, just try it and see what happens.
Come to us, we'll help you.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, this is what I love about video-wise is they don't only have the technology to get it up on the site, they also give you all the data. So you know watch times, you know which videos are getting clicked and watched more often, you know how it's impacting conversion, and then you can swap out the creatives, right, to see, okay, what is actually performing best. And then that can then inform your Cohley creative briefs of, okay, we see that these are the top performing videos based on what we already had on hand. Now we want to scale this and swap out videos every month, right, with new refreshed content because we know our shoppers are coming to our site monthly or, whatever your shopping cycle is. And so you want to have an informed creative strategy, right, but you have to start from somewhere. So starting with a test and learn is absolutely what we recommend.
I'll just expand on that as well. Thank you, Jen, for a lovely summary. Fun fact is that we also have built-in A/B testing. So it's not only that you'll be able to, switch up creative based on performance of individual videos, but you can also decide to have like 50% of the audience is going to be seeing the video implementation, 50%, for instance, will not. And AS Beauty was leveraging that, and that's how we found out that like the spark in conversion for if what's Cover FX was.
Yeah, honestly, across both of our websites, CoverFX and Laura Geller, the A/B testing functionality is really amazing because you can see the whole dot group of people who see the video versus don't and measure the difference between them. But also, as you make changes, you can also rerun your A/B test and see the differences between your original numbers with the hypothesis that you thought. So just for an example, we had on our PDP just a video of Laura kind of explaining to customers how to find their shade. And we're like, okay, but we can make this better. We don't really see interaction that high. So then we ran an A/B test, making it a quiz guided activity for them, kind of having Laura walk them through their foundation and their shade. And then even still, we've now iterated on that even further to your point, constantly test. You can never run too many tests. And we've just kind of reduced our questions to get them further into the flow and quicker.
Ultimately, A/B tests are showcasing, for instance, for beauty skincare brands, anywhere from 10 to 15% uplift in conversion, significant impact on AOV, on RPS. But also, if you're in the field of educating your audiences, we're talking also solving the problem of bounce rates. We're talking prolonged time on site, higher engagement rate, and ultimately people coming back to purchase more because they are making the informed decision. Back to you, Jen.
I'm curious if there are any underutilized video types or formats that you're seeing brands miss out on their websites.
That's a funky one. As I said, we don't discriminate against content. I think the golden goose is in authentic reviews, and that's what we try to consult when talking to brands. Across the board, I think also the emerging trend of utilizing UGC and relying on reviews and how-tos and testimonials is kind of moving away the traditional video production. Is it, professional sessions recording the bottle or professional shootings for fashion brands, for instance? I kind of feel that the power of authentic content, the social proof, is taking away from the traditional video formats. And I don't think it's a bad thing, so I wouldn't say that brands are missing out on that. I just think it's a new trend that is going to be quite interesting to follow over the upcoming months, maybe even years. From your experience?
Yeah, I agree with you. I don't think there's any bad content. It's really about knowing your customers and giving them the content that works with them. For us, it's mature women. We need to show women who have gray hair, who age with them, who have fine lines. If you show content that doesn't match that, then they're not going to resonate, and they'd be like, okay, this brand's not for me. So it's not about there's anything underutilized. It's just like owning in on what the right content is.
Yeah, I agree. And I think traditionally when, a couple years ago when you thought about video content, you thought of creative teams would be like, okay, how are we going to produce this in-house? How am I going to allocate my creative team's resources to generate video? And now, we're seeing it very different, where a lot of it is outsourced to creators, right? And that is how you scale, and that is also how you better relate to your customers. And that's not to say it replaces the more polished in-house professional content. It's just meeting them in a different place, right? Giving different information and giving a different angle than what your in-house content is doing for the customer. So this is actually a good segue into my next question. We know that consumers buy from people they relate to, and video is a great vehicle for that. So how has social proof like testimonials or video reviews, the more lo-fi stuff, how has that impacted shopping behavior or, site performance for you?
Do you want to, and then I can?
Yeah, sure. Reviews are everywhere. Whenever you go to any website and you're shopping, you always look at the reviews. To go beyond just reviews themselves on shopping websites, look at reviews for restaurants you eat at, for where you're traveling, what you're doing. The attention span of people is just constantly dwindling. So people don't have the time to read blogs and articles about where to buy, and the videos really bring that to life. I feel like the theme of our talk is gonna be real and authentic. So rather than reading a review, you're kind of bringing that review to life to the person. You can see the makeup on them. You can see the makeup kind of move and how it lasts. And it just brings it to life.
Statistically speaking, it's very important to understand that 60% of your shoppers on your sites will buy if you have the video review. Otherwise, what's going to happen is that they'll go back to TikTok, they'll go back to Insta. Love TikTok, we partner with them, we integrate with them, so all good. But the funnel and the conversion funnel becomes longer. And on the way from them going back to socials and then coming back to your PDP's collection pages website, they are losing interest. And it's kind of like being an overly complicated process for them that ultimately results in people not coming back and finding the alternative. So this is the way in which when you implement and integrate the two ecosystems, those 60-70% of the shoppers are going to have right in that second the social proof. They're going to have not the Naomi Campbell posing with the product type of the content, but someone they can resonate with literally on the product page, around the add to cart section, answering every single question possible right that second, and then having the direct call to action leading them straight away to the checkout page. So I think this is the power. The power is in the education about the brand awareness that comes from people like you and me that we can actually trust to wrap up our shopping journey.
Right, and it's not just about what type of content you're showing, but where you're showing it. You've kind of mentioned different places within the funnel and on the website. Where have you seen the most impact in terms of like, is it checkout, is it PDP, is it homepage? Maybe it's not what's best, but how is it different? Like, how do you strategize the content based on where you're placing it on the website?
Yeah, so you have to look at your website as a funnel and kind of you come to the homepage and you're getting awareness. So for us, we have a celebrity carousel on the homepage. You're like, oh, I know that celebrity. Let me click into this. And you go to the PDP and your intent is higher and you're more interested and want to learn more. So you have videos that are more educational or more answer the customer questions or kind of fuel their desire to be a part of your community and join it. And then as you flow through, those videos kind of follow you along that journey. So I'd say they all perform well. It's just about putting them in the right place.
Yeah, from the technical standpoint, I mean, we implemented on over 3,000 brands currently, which means we have really good success playbook. And there are a few tips and tricks that we usually start off with when running implementations. The first one is always that you do want to humanize the brand from the moment that the audience is on the homepage. Is it like the founder-based quiz, for instance, mapping out the journey for the shoppers and welcoming the audience? Or is it a beautiful designed hero banner with a custom call to action taking the audience? But also having the UGC carousel highlighting best practices of your brand or the best-selling product captures that attention from the first second, which makes the continuation of the shopper journey easy. Secondly, for collection pages, it's interesting because the entire product discovery becomes enhanced and very immersive. And instead of scrolling through collections and clicking on different categories, you have, everything in front of you visually inspiring you to go then to the PDPs. And then on product pages, we always implement carousels around the add to cart section because this is psychological what people tend to go to, but it's also the place where most of the people drop from the purchase. So if you have like 2 to 5 videos which are showcasing how to use the product, answering frequently asked questions, concerns potentially, this is where the conversion actually happens. So implementation across PDPs, with the product gallery, but also add to cart section is crucial. And then finally, we have, for instance, hair care brands that have extensive library of videos depending on the hair type. And this is interesting because in those cases, we can have dedicated sections. I like to call it Netflix for brands because it's literally an isolated website where you can have hundreds of videos categorized by different keyword sections, allowing the audience to learn to the fullest extent how to use your products and to always come back for the learning experience. So depending on what your goal is, depending on the KPIs, we always consult and have proven playbook in terms of implementing videos across.
Yeah, and I want to bring this back to the creator conversation as well. If you are using creators and you're putting together your creative brief for them, share where the content is going to be used, right? Like if you are placing it on the homepage and you want more of like introductory about the brand or benefits about the brand, a little bit more high level versus on a PDP, which is more of a product testimonial, more of a conversion video, that is helpful for them to know. And you might be helping them with the creative concepts, right? And like, telling them, talk about the product benefit. But giving them the context of like this is where it's going to be used will help them just create better content for you, and it gives them the context too because they're also consumers and shoppers themselves, right? They know what their own purchase journey is like, and then now they know how to tailor the video based on what you're looking for. So when you are generating those creative briefs and educating your creators and the platform, just remember that that's really helpful context for them to have too. You may have that context, but having that in the creative brief will ensure that they also have the context to generate the content for you because you're not giving them a script, you're relying on them to bring their authenticity to it, but having that frame, that mindset really helps them generate what will actually help you in what your KPIs are. So I think one question that we do often get from brands is that video, or I guess feedback maybe, is that video can feel intimidating or resource intensive for brands. It's not only generating enough content, but also kind of what you've mentioned is being fearful of bringing video onto the site where they're afraid that it will slow down loading speeds. I guess, talk to me about how maybe AS Beauty decided to forgo those risks and jump into video, and maybe from your side and video-wise, like how do you kind of address those concerns with brands?
Yeah, so for us, the big reason that we moved over to VideoWise is because their hosting platform does not increase site speed. There are a lot of video platforms that videos live on your site and your site speed goes up. So that's definitely one factor to take into account. And while videos are heavy, with anything you really have to decide is the potential slight increase in site speed worth the astronomical increase in conversion and revenue that you can bring in. And it comes down to a basic formula to really decide that. So there are downsides to it, but there's also major upsides and major potential. And there's stuff you get from videos that you can't get just from images, and you can't get from just from text. And I think for us, that's why it wasn't really a concern at all.
From the technical background, all of the assets that are uploaded to VideoWise dashboard, to our content management system, are going through in-house optimization, so AI optimization. All file sizes, without impacting quality of the video, are being lowered up to 98% even. So we did have situations in which, for instance, a brand uploaded a video which is 70, 80 megabytes, and we managed to compress it down to 5 to 6 megabytes without impacting the quality. And then the second bit is that all of those assets, after they go through our systems, the code that goes to the website is around 47 kilobytes. And then that's the power why we're not being limited with having just one thing on the PDP. So we address concerns by saying that concerns don't exist. I think that would be the way to pack it. But we also, we monitor everything. If there's a flagging issue, our devs are on it. So far we didn't have issues. And we constantly work on even further lowering the file sizes on the site.
Love it. Anything else from a technical or UX perspective that you've learned as a best practice that brands should know?
I think this was touched on one of the panels before, but content organization is quite crucial. For us, that's where everything starts. So content coming from TikTok, Instagram, or uploaded manually sleeps in our content management system. And then it's being organized in different folders for different specifics. The tags are being added depending on the source about the products. The titles and descriptions are being generated by AI, for instance, so we don't waste your time. But for us, everything starts with content being organized, tagged, so the team then knows what's going to go where. Because when you're distributing content at scale across thousands of SKUs or 20,000 of SKUs, you need to know right every second what is the bit of the video that is going to go out there. So I think, as mentioned, it starts from organization, and that this is where you do need to have a friendly user experience in the dashboard, which is assisting you and making your job easier. And that from that point on, it's the strategic approach, but this is where we also hop in to help. Thoughts? Yeah.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Your back-end dashboard is very user-friendly. I think when we onboarded, we had over 5,000 videos feed in from all of our social channels. So then we really use all of their tags and their folder systems to organize them based on product or creator versus Laura. So that way it's easier for us when we have any new widget on our website to be like, this is the exact video we want and filter down rather than seeing 5,000 videos being like, I don't know where to start. So being organized is definitely the key to picking your content.
I'd love to actually learn a little bit more about that. So 5,000 videos, that's amazing. That's great. Clearly you don't struggle with video scale. But how do you make those decisions of what actually goes up on the site, right? Like you don't have room on the site for 5,000 videos. So what is your process of taking videos that were created for other video platforms and deciding, okay, this will actually, we think, do well on the site?
Yeah, so I think it goes back to like where they are in their journey. So for us, a lot of it is testimonial videos, or on TikTok, we've seen trends of like get ready with me or before and afters. And those really stand out to our customers because they need to see, especially for makeup, you can't feel it online, you can't touch it, you can't put it on your skin. So before and afters really show the transition from a woman who looks like you with no makeup to makeup. And that's kind of content that we put on our website. There's tons of amazing editorial content, but for us specifically, that doesn't give our older demographic the education that they need.
And how do you, how do you also ensure that you're getting the right spread of like the diversity of people that reflect your customer? And it's not the same face over and over again, or the same type of skin. Talk to me about that as well.
Yeah, I mean, we have a great marketing team who helps with all of our influencer campaigns and gets different ages, demographics, skin types, hair colors, anything. That does make it diverse. You definitely have to lean on your other teams in your company or whoever manages it to make sure that, to what we've been saying, like shows your customer. In makeup, there's not one skin tone, there's not one skin concern. Everyone has different things that they are battling, and you need to show the breadth of variety of people out there.
Yeah, and I think that this is very specific for beauty, but it definitely translates to all industries. Maybe it's not like skin tone or hair color, but it is like looking at your consumer segments and making sure that those people are reflected in your content and you're not pigeonholing your customers because you're only showing a specific type of content. So that's why we also recommend, when you are on a PDP, it's not just one video for that product, right? It's 3 to 5. So now you're showing not only diversity and perspectives of what multiple people are saying for social proof, but also you have this ability to show multiple ages, multiple demographics that represent your true customer, and then they're not going to just say, no, this isn't for me because I don't relate to the person in the video, or struggle with any of those limitations. So definitely making sure that you're intentional with the type of people and creators you're showing in your content that's reflective of your actual consumer segments as well.
Can I add 5 cents?
Yeah.
Okay. Do it. Cool. Yeah. No, this is an amazing point because you don't have the control over choosing who comes to your homepage. And then it's really, really crucial to send people in different directions across the website before they lose interest. And this is something we have it for Laura Geller, for instance, but a lot of brands across multiple industries are leveraging the pop-up that is the video quiz in a way. And every video frame has its own set of options or answers, however you put it. But the magic is that you start off with asking the audience, what is their issue, for instance? What specifically did they come for? Or what is their age group? And every answer can be tied to the next frame with its own unique set of options to choose from. Ultimately, the magic happens because you can hyperlink those answers. So they take the user to a shoppable video or to a product page based on their behavior or to any destination of the website, which really gives that personalized touch, like you went to the boutique or to the store, like the physical, when somebody said, hey, how can I help you today? What are you looking for? And we replicate that offline store experience with the quiz being on the homepage. And this is how we can tackle the issue as well, by leveraging the video.
Such a good point. I think that's such a common theme for not only this panel, but everything we've talked about today is customized for where you're meeting your customer. And that's in the content, in the strategy of where you're placing it. And having that intent is what's going to actually get you to move the needle instead of just, hey, we have this content, let's put it here with no real strategy. Being able to be intentional and then leaning on your Cohley team to also help you with advising in terms of like giving us the results so that we can make sure that your creative briefs are also based on this creative formula for optimization, not just like, oh, this is a beautiful video or a pretty picture and we hope it'll work, right? So definitely putting data behind the creative, that is what is going to actually move the needle for you. Any other notes to add before we wrap up and give it up for questions?
Not that I can think of. If you want to go first, maybe it'll spark something in me.
I don't know. Good job.
We can open up for questions then.
No, I think generally speaking, you know, people are kind of afraid that they will never have enough content. And something I would like to share with the room is just you always have enough content. You would not believe the amount of brands that come to us and they see their Instagrams and they see their TikTok, but they're afraid of implementing that on a site. And that's the fabulous starting point. You always need to start from somewhere. And once when you pass that first step, it just gets easier and you kind of get hooked into implementing more and more. And this is where we see the conversion boosting. Just use what you have and the rest will follow after that.
Yeah, I think it's not about having enough content, it's about having the right content.
And that is why Cohley exists, because we help you get the right content.
This was so fabulous. Like, this was not practice at all.
Thanks for setting me up. Any questions from the group?
Jack.
Or Kenzie, do you want to give him the...
I didn't see the hand. I'm shuffling.
So it sounds like you've had some success with video reviews. Was there one metric that helped convince leadership to invest more?
I think conversion, really, because when you look at the people who interact with videos, the conversion is more than double general like site conversion, and that really kind of sells it. And at that point, it's more, how do you get more people to interact with videos?
Besides conversion, was there?
I mean, for me, that's kind of how we sold it. But then beyond, I mean, interaction and revenue that was increased from it, and also in these videos with Get Ready With Me videos, they're using more than one product, so it helped increase AOV. And I mean, it really had a effect on all of our metrics, but I guess for us, it'd really be like AOV and conversion.
Cool, thank you.
I mean, just to jump in quickly, engagement rate overall on site and time on site added as well. Like we've seen brands that are having 900 to 1,200 hours added in terms of total time on site. So yeah, also something to consider. They come back to learn, exactly.
How are you evaluating how often to refresh this content, or is it different visitors so it doesn't matter, or if people are coming back, do we need to have something new for them to be exploring and educating, even though it's the same product, same item, and things like that?
For us, we really look at how often our return customers come back and how often new customers come in. But also, to the point about having right content, we don't just want to change our content just to have new content if it doesn't really help. So for us, we really look at kind of that timeline and then try to get content within that. But I would say having anything is better than, like I said, the wrong content and just updating it to do it.
I mean, we have brands who've been with us for 2 years and it didn't change the carousel, and it works. Like Dr. Dennis Gross still has the same quiz for 2 years or something. It performs magically. And then we have brands who are changing everything every 36 hours. So yeah, if people have content, it's nice. I mean, it makes me happy. But there isn't a golden standard. I think it's really super specific to the brand in question and how often do they communicate with the audience. So yeah.
It's like the life cycle of a product. For a mattress or for TV, people aren't buying new TVs every month, right? So when you have the same product, if the product hasn't changed, that life cycle of that video is longer. But also, what we do recommend is consistently swapping out videos to find winners if you have the resources to generate video, right? Because if you're finding a winner, keep that video on and then continue to generate, like cycle out the losers and continue to find more winners, right? Because that is what helps you put together that creative formula of, okay, what are the factors that optimize for performance metrics that I'm looking for? And that varies across, like the reason why we can't give that to a brand is because it varies across the product vertical, the brand, the type of consumer, the type of website. So there's never a creative formula that we can give you right off the bat, and it requires a lot of testing and learning to find it specifically for your brand and for your product. Even within one brand, like multiple products will have different creative formulas per se, right? So it just takes a lot of testing and learning to figure out what is the right time to change out those videos. And then what is it within the videos that actually optimizes for performance so you can affect those creative briefs.
Yeah, what's great about the VideoEye's backend and analytics is within each video, you can see how many people directly bought from it, how long they watched it, how many people like clicked into it. So you can kind of see like if people are like, okay, I'm tired of watching this video, like let's swap it out. Or this one's now getting more watches, let's move that one to the front of a carousel. So their backend gives you all that information to make those educated decisions.
Yay, go us. Anything else?
Quick question, or two questions actually. So you mentioned you mentioned that every brand has enough content already to leverage, but let's say a brand doesn't have any video content. What's the one type of video content that you think is absolutely crucial to have on a site? And then kind of similar, what is the one type of video content that seems to drive the highest increase in time on site? And obviously that changes widely across different niche categories, but generally.
No, I was listening to you in mid-question. I was like, buddy. Video reviews, especially because video reviews can have how-to incorporated in it. Like you're reviewing something, but you don't necessarily review just one product. You're reviewing the entire routine. That's something I would always say performs magically, especially for beauty skincare brands. For fashion apparel, reviews as well, but combined with, I match the merino wool sweater with a silky skirt, look at it twirl, and we see the sheerness, we see the quality, and we get the inspiration. So reviews with how-to, the golden goose of everything.
And you have to remember, we're talking about video for site. People are searching for information. They're not looking to be entertained. So it's very different from social media and the scroll stopping power, right? They are trying to find information. They don't need to know about the rest of your day of like inserting the product in the day of your life, right? Like they are looking for very specific information of what you thought about the product. And so for a lot of our clients, what we do is we actually work with consumers, everyday consumers, not creators or influencers, and getting these really real, raw testimonials. And they're really not social friendly at all. There's no hook. They're oftentimes like shaky videos of like, you know, somebody filming the product and their face isn't even in it, but they're giving information, they're giving their real testimonial of the product versus making sure that there's like music and pretty text and like a whole creative story, right? Like they're searching for information because the shopper needs information to decide whether they want to purchase. They're not looking to be entertained like you would be on your For You page on TikTok. So that's something to keep in mind about video specifically for website and for commerce.
I also think part of what makes it easy and real to what we talked about earlier about having high-tech equipment is you can film any video on your phone. So a lot of our videos with Laura are just her sitting in her kitchen that we've taken on an iPhone. So it's so accessible and easy to just start making your library of content.
Bravo. That's a fabulous
one. All right, well, thank you so much, everyone. We will wrap that up then.
Just wanna have some fun. I don't wanna fall in love. I just wanna have some Hey now, letters burning by my bed for you. Hey now, I can feel my instincts here for you. Hey now, by my bed for you. Hey now, hey now. Letters burning by my bed for you.